One thing I've learned is that when you're the first Muslim elected official to ever run for mayor, people say some pretty wild things. When we held our first major campaign rally and we gave out these cool new bandanas, one former city council candidate said these were in fact, get this, hijabs. Who can blame her? After all, everyone knows the most critical components of an Islamic state are hot dogs, a pigeon, and a Metro card.
Yeah, so this is Gaslight Mamdani right here, telling us all that we're crazy, and everybody criticizing him is crazy for saying the things that they are. This is the cleaned up, polished version of Zohran Mamdani on his very best behavior, because he's only got, what, 5 days to go, and he's going to get all that power. So he's going to do everything he can to calm your mind about who he really is. The audacity to claim that he's being disparaged publicly just because he's Muslim and not because of who he is, which is a pretty terrible person when you look back at his history. Pretending he's not the most radical person to ever ascend to an office as high as the mayor of New York. It is the gaslight of the century. He is an actor. He is a liar. And here's the real Zohran in his own words.
We have to make clear that when the boot of the NYPD is on your neck, it's been laced by the IDF.
We can establish community land trusts to gradually buy up housing on the private market and convert it to community ownership. We can give tenants a right of first refusal to buy out their landlords when buildings go up for sale. And we can fully commit to a new era of social housing, ending subsidies for luxury housing development and using our wealth to build beautiful, high-quality social housing projects. I want to speak to the memory of my aunt, who stopped taking the subway after September 11th because she did not feel safe in her hijab.
So a look there at who Zohran Mamdani really is, and he claims that the people criticizing him are the crazy ones. George Pataki is the former Republican governor of New York and joins us now. And, sir, it's good to have you back on. When you watch Zohran and the way he's trying to present himself to the public with 5 days to go, I mean, it reeks when you look at who he really is and what we've seen in the past.
Rob, you're absolutely right. You look at that fake smile, which he constantly has on his face, and he's trying to come across as a victim when, in fact, he's the one who wants to impose far-left, radical, not socialist, really neo-Marxist policies on the people of New York. And people aren't criticizing him because he's Muslim, but he's an Islamist. He has said over and over again that he very much supports, for example, people in Gaza who are very virulently anti-Israel. He's never rejected from the river to the sea. And this is someone who is a looming disaster for the people of New York City. And it's going to be bad for the United States, too, if he wins on Tuesday.
The timing, though, you have to say that his timing could not have been any better for a communist to try and rise up. You've got this flailing Democrat Party that has absolutely no power and has absolutely no approval rating. They seem very feckless in this moment. They seem unable to conquer Donald Trump, who finally came back and won the war, I would say, by running for a third term. And slowly, all of these, old school Democrats are being forced, who I think maybe at their core at some point were capitalists, are now being forced to endorse this very toxic, very Marxist, very anti-American entity before them. Take a listen.
I support the Democratic nominee, as I indicated, and we're in alignment.
Mamdani, success leaves clues. The power of emulation. Democratic Party should learn about how to communicate in this new world. They should learn how to build a brand. We're a party with both of us, Republicans and Democrats, have big tents. And, we ought to embrace all of those ideas.
I mean, Debbie Dingell telling us that they've got a big tent. I mean, give me a break. A big tent. So we're going communist now is what they're saying.
Rob, their tent is falling over to the left.
Yeah.
And, you have all these former liberals who are desperate. They're in high political office, and they're terrified of losing primaries to far-left Democrats, exactly what happened to Cuomo in the Democratic primary here. So you have people like Schumer, who understands he's getting killed by the shutdown. But if he agrees to keep the government open, he's going to lose. He's going to get crushed in a primary by AOC. You have Jeffries, who would be the next speaker, sucking up to this left-wing neo-communist Islamist. And it's a disaster for New York, but it also it bodes horribly poorly for the Democratic Party. They're going to have this internal fight between the traditional liberals and the far left radicals. And the far left radicals, with rare exceptions, like in New York City, when you had a void on the Democratic Party's side apart from Mamdani, they're going to lose all over the country. And if I'm a Democrat right now, unless I'm one of these far leftists who doesn't care about winning or losing, I'm sitting there going, we are in real trouble. New York City's in trouble. Yeah. But the Democratic Party is as well, I believe.
Well, we're starting to see people pretty on the far left. In the Pacific Northwest, there's a candidate on the pretty far left. I think he's a socialist himself, being primaried by somebody even further to the left. So this is they're going to go through some serious growing pains in that party. Want to show some polling here for this race, which will end on Tuesday night with the final day of voting. The big day is Tuesday. Mamdani at 50, Cuomo at 25, Sliwa at 21. You got that 4% undecided. I know you're backing Curtis Sliwa. I think I upset him about a week ago because I'm just a pragmatist, and I know that somebody has to get out. One of those two needed to get out, and I thought that person should have been Sliwa initially. Is it too late for anything now? Is it over? What do you think happens?
Rob, nobody's going to get out at this stage. You know, I've known Sliwa for at least 30 years. He's a fighter. He's never quit anything. He's not going to quit now. And I think the tragedy here is if there had been a one-on-one race between a Republican and a Democrat, and Sliwa's the Republican, I think Sliwa would have had a chance. If people had the opportunity to look at him, here is the ideas for New York. But because Andrew Cuomo was there, and people were thinking, well, he's more likely to be able to beat this far-left loser, that Sliwa should get out. So I think it's too late. I think it's unfortunate. I think we could have beaten Mamdani if we had a unified ticket behind, unified voters behind the Republican line. I think it's too late in this case for that to happen.
Yeah, I mean, just knowing the electorate here, I think if it would have been an Ackman type that ran in the Republican primary and won the primary, I think that would have had a chance. I'm not sure Sliwa is palatable enough for such a blue city. I like Sliwa, but I don't know that I don't think that there's going to be enough of a support base of moderates that are going to go for him. Although versus Mamdani, you don't know, but there's no way when they split it. And that's so frustrating to see us just walking right into this disaster on Tuesday. It's very disappointing. The former governor, George Pataki, thank you, sir. We appreciate it.
Thank you, Rob.
You know, everybody's reporting the same stories, the same spin. You turn the channel, it's always the same. But not us. We're different. We report the real news. No spin, just the facts. Turn to us, and you won't turn back.
Tune in to Rob Schmitt tonight on Newsmax.